Hello, everyone, and welcome to Land of Eem and to Telling Tales while I'm at it. So this is our latest one-shot actual play. We're doing one or two of these a month at the moment, so quite a few of them. And before I start getting into what Land of Eem is, who the players are and all that kind of thing, let me get the horrible stream promo out of the way first. If you check down below here, you will see a bunch of links to YouTube and to Twitch. You're watching this on one of those websites. Please do check out the other one. Twitch is where you can catch us live, and YouTube is where all our video archives are. There are lots and lots of videos on there now. Long form series, one shots, all kinds of systems, all kinds of stories, all kinds of games. So yeah, check it out. There's also links to our Patreon, our Discord, our social media. If those are things that interest you, please take a look at them. We currently run 3 weekly campaigns on Twitch at the moment. Monday nights is Vason with Johnny and the Monday crew. Wednesdays is Simbaroom, which is myself and the Wednesday crew, I suppose. And Thursday is currently Cincinnati Chronicles. It's the culmination of a long, quite experimental World of Darkness crossover series that we've had. So probably not the kind of thing to just dive into without watching the other parts first. But hey, it's your life. You do what you want. I'm not your dad. We also do 1 or 2 one-shots a month at the moment. This is obviously the latest one of those. Next month, we have weirdly 2 motorbike-themed one-shots, which wasn't planned, but nevertheless, apparently July is motorbike month. Next Sunday, Johnny will be running a self-penned little game / system, whatever, based on the Bat Out of Hell album by Meatloaf. What does that mean? We're as much in the dark as you for the most part. So yeah, tune in and enjoy that. And then later in the month, I want to say the 15th. See, the 15th or the 16th. It's that weekend. You can figure it out. We'll be playing Hell Knight, which is a Doom Biker TTRPG that I will be running. So tune in for those. Okay, that's the promo. Now we can get on with the good stuff. Today, we're playing Land of Eem. What is Land of Eem? It is a new TTRPG from published by Exalted Funeral. It's not out yet, but we're using I don't know if it's considered alpha or beta, but the PDFs that were sent out to Kickstarter backers. It is also written by and based on work that I'm not familiar with, a kind of like young, like kids / young adults graphic novel stuff called Rickety Stitch. Have zero familiarity with that, so apologize if we break existing Rickety Stitch lore here on Telling Tales. But yeah, as I say, it was a Kickstarter thing. It's like whimsical fantasy, sort of wholesome, but kind of with an edge of melancholy as well. The 3 touchstones it mentions in the book are the Muppets, Lord of the Rings, and Mad Max. So make of that what you will. The idea is it's like kind of whimsical and cartoonish, but also like everywhere that people live now is like built on the ruins of like a faded past, right? Kind of the Lord of the Rings feel. So it's kind of post-apocalyptic as long with being kind of elements of being twee and nice. The touchstone I'm using for what I've written here, which I think is quite appropriate, is the video game series Fable, which I felt like hit a similar sort of balance. So that's kind of what I'm going for with like my inspiration of how I'm writing it. But yeah, that's it really. There's nothing anyone needs to know massively about the setting or anything like that. Elements of it will come through as we start playing, but otherwise it's all good. So with that in mind, let's start bringing on the players and they can tell us about their characters. And we're gonna start today with someone I don't tend to get to run games for too much on the channel. It's Other Sam.
Hello.
No doubt delighted with being called Other Sam, but
no.
obviously I play with other Sam, right? So a lot. So yeah, backup Sam. That's what we'll call you. Hi Sam, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm too hot, but aren't we all?
Aren't we all? I have a fan furiously working at me from one side and a cat furiously meowing at me from the other, apparently. Tell us about your character, Samuel.
Yeah, so I'm playing for Plurple, who is a gelatinous goo. And a rascal. So I am a small kind of purpley blue, translucent cuboid goo, who is wearing various bits of adventuring equipment, kind of strapped to myself, and also wearing a top hat, rather adorably. I'm from the Underlands, which I think is the place all of gelatinous goos come from. And kind of my backstory is I told away in the mines. I don't really know. I guess I was born in the mines, but I guess they aren't really born gelatinous goo. I imagine them just when a large goo splits into multiple goos.
Yeah, that you'd kind of think so, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I eventually, I just hated my time down there with the slime lord of the mine, and I managed to escape through the help of a goblin called Crossgo by giving him a particularly nice gemstone. And now I'm a bit of a rascal, a bit of a gambler. My ideal is to learn secrets, and my flaw is to always bet against the odds. And my main quest now is to pay off my massive gambling debts because I am a terrible gambler. Nice,
very nice. Appreciate any game that lets you play as a gelatinous goo. So there we go. And as soon as I read through the folk you can play as in the game, I immediately knew that whichever group I would play with, there would be at least one gelatinous.
It's too tempting. How could you not?
Absolutely. Okay, let's bring on our second player now. Regular from Wednesday nights, it's Stephen. Hi, Stephen.
Hi. I prefer the term other Steve, but we'll go with
Steve. Yeah, it's already going to be confused. No spoilers as to who the rest of the players are, but it's going to be confusing today, folks. It could have been worse. We could have had other Sam on as well, Stephen, tell us all about your character, who I'm assuming their name is pronounced Gra.
Gra, yeah. Yes. So Gra is a Welkin, which is sort of like a bird person, like a sentient bird. Specifically, he's a pelican. He's from the part of the world known as Scalawag Strand, which is a sort of coastal area. With lots of sort of piratey types kind of yo-ho-hoing around the seas. And his specific role on board was as a bard, as a hurdy-gurdy player. But now he's struck out from the coastal regions inland in an attempt to bring his shanties to a new audience, and perhaps find some adventure along the way. So his ideal is to make a new fan, because you've got to start somewhere, I guess. His flaw is that he tends to get distracted at inopportune moments, which I'm sure won't cause any trouble at all.
By a good spotting fish and things like that.
Yeah, just anything really.
It's adorable that it's a single fan, just one fan.
Just one person to like his music. I mean, I've been in bands and we felt the same way. So
in the unlikely event that he finds a fan, I mean, his ideal can just be to find the next fan.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's a kind of microcosm of telling tales. Just for someone to care, someone.
Exactly that.
Here's a question I'm interested in, because I don't specifically know the answer, but I'd like to guess. Because the instrument you pick as a bard gives you different advantages based on what type of instrument it is. Is a hurdy-gurdy a woodwind instrument?
It's a string instrument.
It is string. It uses.
It's a bowed string instrument.
Right.
Weirdly, where the bow is a wheel, but yeah, it's for gameplay and also actual purposes. It's a string instrument.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what's inside a hurdy-gurdy, you see, so I didn't know if it was producing a woodwind thing or
No, it's an unnecessarily complicated.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be
for
told.
A fretboard.
Sure.
Okay, it's magic.
So it's a string instrument. Okay, well now I know. Now I know that, and that will come in useful never again. But I appreciate it. So let's bring on our next player, and to ratchet up the confusion factor, it's Steve, not Stephen. Steve. Different people.
Steve Prime.
Steve Prime. the Steve. Hi, Steve. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, apart from being, quite warm, but there we are.
Good. Again, someone I don't get to run games for too much on the channel. So tell us all about Ogrim.
Okay, so Ogrim is a bugbear, so sort of humanoid bear with sort of long arms, essentially. Comes from the Drippy Downs, which are sort of rolling green hills, apparently the last bastion of sort of magic in the Land of Eem. So the Drippy Downs contains, you can still find trolls and fairies there, that sort of thing. So Ogrim really fell into a life of adventure by there was an old bogrel near the village that Ogrim grew up in, and this bogrel was being attacked by some Wayorgs. So Ogrim decided to sort of jump in, help, save this person, and yes, they decided that Ogrim had the spirit of a true knight, so went home and dug out of their closet an old exceptional mace, and gave that to me along with custodianship of their riding tortoise. So now I have a mace and a tortoise and a rather clumsily stitched tabard, which I've kind of been stuffed into.
Yeah, because a bugbear within this, as in most ones, is like a big furry kind of hulking chap, right? So on top of this massive tortoise with a big old mace, it's the kind of character I like to see. There we go. Lovely. Okay, let's bring on our final player for today. It's John, someone I get to run games for all the fucking time. And honestly, well, it doesn't need to be said. Of course, it's lovely to have John here. John playing Judy. Why don't you tell us about Judy?
Judy is a wug who are sort of big fellows. He used to be bullied. He's also from the Drippy Downs. He used to be bullied for being big and even by wug standards, a bit awkward and gangly and very uncoordinated. But he was taken in by a master baker who was a quartal, who's like a turtle person, and taken under his wing and taught the secrets of baking. And he found skills at hefting large amounts of flour all over the place. But he decided to leave the Drippy Downs to go on an epic quest to recover the lost recipe of gator gill pie, which was stolen from his master a long time ago. And Judy is really hoping it doesn't actually contain gators, because that sounds disgusting.
Disgusting. I'm sure many in kind of what's the marshy area called in this? I should have
The Quash Marsh.
Yeah, I'm sure many people there would disagree. But yeah. Okay, then there we go. That is our crew, and we are going to get more or less straight into it. Like I say, I'm not particularly going to do a kind of like lore dump of Land of Eem into this. I think it's a game that gets away without really talking about that. You just need to know it's kind of a whimsical, kind of weird fantasy thing with a slight edge of kind of melancholy to it and dark humor, because it's me making this, so that is what has to happen. Okay, so you have all received an odd missive, and when I say you all, I mean everyone but Judy. But Ogrim got it, so that's fine. You are also aware of it. It is a thick piece of card, cheaply printed with garish gold foil edges. It is an invitation to some kind of adventuring competition in the small town of Beetlemead, located on the border between the river country and the used-to-be forest. It is somewhat famous for being built on top of the ruins of an old city. Labyrinthine tunnels are said to lie beneath the streets, but no one has ever explored them all. Some say the old city is still intact, but rife with beasts and other nefarious things. We don't need to go into like full scenes or anything, but why don't we have an indicate? Stephen, how do you think Kra will have kind of received this? You know, what will he have done off the back of it?
I think he's not necessarily got a particularly great idea of the geography of inland, and so doesn't necessarily know exactly where he wants to go on his barding quests. And so I think he would just treat the invitation as like serendipitous, like as a like this is a place to be, and it sounds inland. I think he can probably navigate up into the river country to get there fairly comfortably.
I think so.
So
I think so.
He'll be excited by the opportunity.
Lovely. And Sam, how about for Plurple?
I'm giving you the best time with that. So I think for Plurple is maybe in like a town quite nearby, in kind of a seedy back room, sort of basically gambling den of some shop, and a letter kind of generally plops in because people know he's going to be here. And for Plurple is currently negotiating some debts from the game he's just now lost. He has nothing else to trade that he wants to give up. They're like, there's just, for Plurple's just holding onto the top hat, which is probably one of the only valuable things they can see, and being like, no, and then sees this. I mean, I can't talk, so it's more like, gesturing, because I'm a gelatinous goo, but they know what I mean.
Yeah, making sort of noises.
Exactly. And then this note comes through, and I grab it with my gelatinous gooey shape and read it, which probably actually involves absorbing it, I think.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
And then I show it, now probably dripping, to other people in the room, and then express that I will pay off my debt by my winnings from this competition, you see. And they don't seem very happy about it, but I kind of nod and back out the room while persuading them of this.
Nice. And we might as well put them together for it. Ogram and Judy. This invite comes into Ogram. What do we make of this?
Yeah, so I think what happened was, having been told that I was the right sort of stuff to be a knight, I went back and told the village, and they seemed very happy at first, but then they said if I was going to be errant, I'd need to do it somewhere else, which seemed a bit mean. But they handed me this card with the details on, so I thought, well, if I'm gonna have to go off somewhere, then I might as well, take because I knew Judy was kind of, lusting for a bit of a change of scenery, so it seemed serendipitous.
And obviously, if Ogram's going to go wandering off into danger, I'm not going to let him go on his own.
Yeah, because you're the true hero of this. We've all read Lord of the Rings. Okay, yeah. So you all make your way to Beetlemead. As I say, it's on the border between River Country and the used to be forest. From what you've said, I imagine. Sorry, where is for Plurple is from the Underlands,
but I'm not there anymore.
Yeah. Where do you think you might? Where were you?
I was imagining kind of the edge of the Quagmash, was it? The kind of swampy lands nearby, probably.
As in the inland edge. You're probably pretty nearby then.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a long journey for you, and maybe like a bit of a medium journey for Kra, and quite a trek for Ogram and Judy, I think, crossing most of the mucklands, the kind of land, the setting for Land of Eem. But all of you are going to arrive on the same day because convenience is key to narrative. It is a warm and slightly sticky summer's day in Beetlemead, and the town seems quiet. The town square has a huge ill-made banner strung up with Beetlemead Adventuring Invitational written on it in bright blue ink. A middle-aged boggart sheriff stands on a wooden podium. A younger bogrel constable stands nearby with a sheaf of papers and a slightly frustrated expression. A smattering of adventuring types stand around in groups. Most of the townsfolk seem to be ignoring this, though a large group of shrim and human children nearby seem to be enthused. For references, a boggart is like a slightly fairy-esque, human-like being with very varied colours of skin, and a bogrel is basically a frog person. So you're all there. Ogram and Judy will be together. And for Plurple, both of you are also there. And there are other kind of adventurers kind of stood around in groups, essentially. But you are more kind of isolated. Are any of you doing anything in particular? The sheriff looks like they're kind of like gearing up to maybe like do a little speech or announcement or something, but otherwise they're the only person who seems excited here, basically. Some of the other adventurers are kind of like talking, but it's a very weirdly... You were expecting more excitement, perhaps.
I think Kra is probably playing some like mood music on the, you know, like something vaguely adventurous, but not too interrupting.
Like slightly shanty-esque.
Yeah, that is his main thing.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be a nautical vibe there, but like nautical adventure.
Absolutely.
I think for Plurple, we'll slip and slime into kind of just a shady spot that's a bit out of the way and just observe for a moment. Also, you know, the sun probably doesn't do good for your slime.
Yeah, you don't want your goo to crack up.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. How about Ogram and Judy?
I'm probably going to be happily chattering away to whoever's nearest to us.
Do you think that might be those Shrimmin human kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. What are you here for, mister?
We're here for the Beetlemead adventure invitation? Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. That's what it says on the banner.
Is it?
I think so.
We can't read, mister.
Do you know anything about it?
Our mums and dads say reading is for necromancers.
Oh. Well, I'm not a necromancer. I'm a baker.
If you're a baker, why have you come to an adventuring thing?
Oh, because he's a knight.
And I'm just staring at the invitation and then staring up at the sign and back to the invitation and wondering if we're in the right place.
Is all you do wander around making knight's bread?
Well, it's all I'm doing right now.
And you don't know how to read? Do you know how to read?
I know. I think I know how to read.
Oh, I'll stick not knowing how to read then.
All right.
Ogram, is there anything you're doing in particular?
I think I'm just a bit Judy, is this does the bit of card is it spelled correctly?
Yeah.
Versus
that
a
is
sign,
spelled
right?
correctly. Yeah. You suspect the person instructed to make the sign probably didn't really know what invitational might mean or how it was spelled, and may have had just a loose grasp on what letters were.
That's fair. There is only one Beetlemead around here, isn't there?
There's only one that I know of. I mean, maybe they've got an invitational and an invitatum on opposite sides. You know, like a competition. A competition of competitions.
Okay.
As you are having this conversation, the Boggart sheriff, stands up to a small, unimpressive podium and clears his throat before kind of partly shouting, partly speaking over the relatively empty town square. Welcome, one and all, to the inaugural Beetlemead Adventuring Invitational. We have scoured all of the Mucklands for the most promising heroes to compete for the honor of delving deep beneath our fair town into the mysterious and dangerous ancient complex below. Glory can be found there, but also the satisfaction of protecting fabled, beautiful Beetlemead. You look around you, slightly confused. Beautiful Beetlemead does not describe Beetlemead. 3 tasks await them before they can claim this adventure as their own. They will face fierce opponents, formidable obstacles, and tricksy puzzles before a victor is declared and shown the way below. But that's enough from old Sheriff Warney, other than to say that I would thoroughly appreciate your vote at the upcoming mayoral elections. Now, enough from me. Let's hear from our bold adventurers. He kind of gesticulates out over the crowd, and all the other adventurers, they're mainly bundled in about 3 groups together. The one furthest away from you, a bogril, stands forward, a frog person holding a mechanical pen and paper, who seems to be kind of taking detailed notes on everything, and says, I am Mov Canticle of Canticle's Crusaders, and we stand here proud to represent ourselves at this competition. The next group kind of closest to you, a Whalen stands forward, a whale person who in a booming voice says, and I am Rosaline Dundamore of Dundamore's Daring Do-Gooders. We will no doubt win this competition and clear what lies below of any danger. Finally, the group nearest to you, a shrim steps forward, one of a group of other shrim, all with broken shackles around their ankles, and says, and I am Gaul Priel, of Priel's Precise Practitioners of Pure Praxis. I need not speak to you about the reputation of I and my crew here, and we have utmost confidence in ourselves to prove our worth next to our fine peers. Everyone in the square now looks at the 4 of you, because you're the only ones left.
I will gelatinously nudge the nearest person who might be Krah!
Out there in the moment of silence following this, you definitely hear someone further away in the town square go,
I am Kra of Kra's Adventuring Buccaneers, pioneers in treasure retrieval, no treasure too small. And I will play our theme tune.
Somewhere behind you, you hear someone in a couple of people who've gathered saying, there's no alliteration there at all.
No.
Sheriff Warney kind of gesticulates to everyone else, to all 4 of you, and says, is it the 4 of you?
Yes.
Shrug.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
There does seem to be some confusion.
Well, I very much wouldn't come adventuring on my own, would I?
Oh,
Sensible.
no, that would be really stupid.
Yes.
All right, then. 4 crews for the Beetlemead Adventuring Invitational. Wonderful, wonderful. Please see Deputy Destra. He gestures to the Bogrel Constable, who, it has to be said, looks slightly ill put upon and frustrated. She has the list of your tasks, your 3 tasks to complete, and when those are complete, we will choose a winner, and then that winner gets to venture down below. How exciting! 3 cheers for our brave, bold adventurers.
Hey!
Ogram, I don't think I brought enough food for 4 people.
Oh, they must have brought their own, surely. Nobody would.
I brought provisions, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry to have lumped us together in a group like this with us not having met properly, but it seemed to be the thing to do, right?
I will slurp and slime something that you all interpret as it would be very stupid not to come alone.
Well, I'm Judy, and this is Sir Ogram. Ogram.
Ogram will do. I haven't got the certificate yet, so.
Pleasure to meet you. My name's Kra.
Kra?
Kra. That's
Kra!
right. Kra. Yes.
There is a squelching noise that sounds kind of like cra, but maybe with a bit of a birdie sort of intonation.
Yeah. That's right. Yes.
Then there will be another squelching noise, which the best approximation you could make of it in mouths would be for purple.
For purple.
For purple.
For purple.
A cuboid nod.
Oh, this will fill half an hour. So, first of all, before I get directly back into the gym, I would like to credit John with correctly guessing my inspiration for the voice of Sheriff Warney. So, over at the side of the town square, as I say, is Deputy Destra, who seems to be in the process of like handing out pieces of paper to the various groups who've already gathered over there. I'm assuming that perhaps we're wandering over to find out what our tasks are.
Do any of the other adventurers look particularly wealthy?
They look relatively well equipped.
Mm-hmm.
Not like they don't look rich. No,
Okay.
they look like bold, hard-bitten adventurers.
Yeah, I'm kind of just vaguely looking at them to see if there's any particularly conspicuous coin purses, but I think for now I don't spot anything. So.
Okay. So as you wander over to Deputy Destra, you notice something. You've seen a few of them already in the town. The town is old and dusty. It has odd sticky patches and awful stenches here and there. And almost every road is scattered with ancient, thick, and scratched glass panels amongst the cobblestones. They are difficult to see through, but there seems to be old rooms and passageways down there, partly illuminated by the sun shining through from above. Very occasionally, you feel like you see motion of some kind, or a slight glinting. It's probably just your imagination, though. Who is going to Deputy Destra to get a task?
Well, if no one else is going, yeah, I'll stride over.
I think you'll have to dismount. I think.
Yeah, I'll park
the
tortoise somewhere shady.
Absolutely. As you're going over, and basically she's organizing like a very overly complex handing out of bits of paper to the various people in order to hand out the tasks. It's definitely an organizational thing that makes perfect sense to her, but zero sense to anyone else. And let me tell you, I see some of myself in Deputy Destra. And as you go up, you hear that the group in front of you, which seems to be Canticle's Crusaders, they're kind of reading out their task. And the Bogrel says, "A two-headed golden serpent statue with rubies and emeralds for eyes has been recovered from an old nearby temple, and you must unlock its secrets. Fascinating. And as they kind of walk away from that, Destra looks up at you and says, "Hello, yes, I have. Yes, you're the ones who didn't alliterate, right?"
Yes.
Yes. Odd choice. Here you are. This is one of them, and then I'm doing the all of one kind in order, and then it makes sense. Send another one back in a minute, and hands a bit of paper to you.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll shuffle off whilst reading the bit of paper.
Absolutely. The paper says, which one is this? 1 second. A mechanical hound was found in a local tinkerer's possessions after she passed away with no next of kin. It seems to contain some treasure within, which is obviously the rightful claim of Beetlemead town authorities. Answer the marvel's riddles to secure this treasure. And it has an address listed on it.
Okay. I'll go back to the group and We've anyone good at riddles? We've got to find this mechanical dog, and it's going to ask us riddles, I think. And I'll sort of show the bit of paper around.
Ah, I've been known to engage in a riddle off or two in my bardic time.
When you get the paper back from me, it's just slimy and dripping. I will slip and slime to motion. Can we not just break the thing?
That hardly seems in the spirit of the event.
But it does the job.
But it's a hound. You can't just go around breaking dogs just because they've eaten something.
I'm not convinced that Judy isn't an idiot yet.
Neither am I.
So are we complying with the deputy's instructions to send someone else back for the next task?
Yes, I would have. Yeah, pass that on.
Who is going in this case?
I'll volunteer.
Okay. Judy, as you wander over, you hear Dundermore's daring do-gooders taking their own task. Rosaline, with a bizarre third blinking eye on her forehead, reads, "A dense fog of witch breath has arisen in the Poor Quarter. Everyone has fled from this dreadful sorcery, and it must be banished. Well, this sounds like a task for..." They wander off. And Deputy Destra stands in front of you. "Hi!
Hi.
We're very busy. Take this.
Thank you.
You know what you're doing, don't you? Of course you do. You must have a lot of experience to have received the invitation directly for this."
Yes.
"Great! Then I'm sure you'll be perfectly safe.
I'll scurry back.
Send someone else for the third task."
Okay. I'll read the second task.
It says, "A solid frozen mass of ice has been discovered in a nearby Bogril eatery. It needs dispersing."
An eatery, you say? I will pass that along.
That seems like it would require either heat or the ability to make ice cream. Seems a shame to waste good ice.
It does. It's so hard to get. Anyway, someone needs to go for the third task.
Oh, I'll go unless Purple wants to.
I will gesture that you go. And also slime a kind of
Shaking the
questioning...
top of your...
Yeah, exactly, the top of the cube. And also make a kind of gesture of, why are we doing this?
It's what we got the invites for, isn't it?
This, one at a time.
Oh. Project efficiency?
Yeah, the deputy has come up with a project efficiency methodology called the Rule of Three. It's definitely about admin and not humor. Kra, you walk over to Deputy Destra.
Hello, I'm with the recently rebranded Bespoke Buccaneers of Bestiary Bashing.
Well, as you say that, you realise, crucially, that she's still dealing with the previous group of Preel's precise practitioners of pure praxis, who are now walking away with their own task. And as they do so, Gaul says, "Dozens of muckland bats have infested the ancient Beetlemead Tower, and they have resisted any attempt to drive them off. They must be exterminated." Deputy Destra turns to you and says, "Yes, you were speaking, but I was busy. Was it anything important?"
No.
Good. Here's your final task. What I need you to do, and I need you to listen very carefully to this,
Right.
carry out these tasks, and each time you have, come back and report that it is completed. I need to measure the time you've taken or the distance or something, so that we can declare a winner. It's of the utmost importance you return to me after every task.
Return after every task and report in. Understood?
Lovely, lovely. Thank you.
What was that? The third task?
Yes, this paper I have given you.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. I will walk away and regroup with the others and read the paper out.
Absolutely. It says, Emor the guard struck a superior officer while inebriated and needs returning to the jail to pay for his awful crimes. He'll probably fight back. He's a belligerent one. Everyone who went for a task and ergo heard someone else's task, I would like you to make skill checks for the first time in the game. He said, realizing he didn't have a cheat sheet of all the different skills. But it's going to be, shall we say, I'm going to say it's trickery. So can everyone make a trickery roll? So for people to know how the die rolling works in this game, almost everything you do with a skill check, in fact, everything is a D12. You're aiming broadly to get 6 or over, but there's also a scale that goes kind of like failure with a plus, success with a twist, success, complete success sort of thing. And each skill has like a modifier that's built from various stats you have. But they generally go from like +2 to -2, and the overall modifiers that you can apply to it go from +3 to -3 sort of thing. So anyway, how did everyone do?
I technically rolled a 13.
Ooh. How about Ogram and Judy?
So I rolled with advantage because I have a proficiency for resisting trickery, and I rolled 5 both times.
Nice. Which is a failure with a plus. And how about Ogram?
Well, I'm off to a great start. I have +1 on trickery, but I rolled a 3, so 4.
Nice.
Overall.
Which is also a failure with a plus. So I'm going to say that Ogram and Judy, your failures with a plus, seem to be nothing particularly occurs to you, but you definitely get the impression, if you haven't already, that there does, like, Destra seems to be kind of the put upon person actually carrying this out, and the sheriff seems to be, perhaps not the most invested in it actually achieving anything, like in any sense of adventuring. Krah! You rolled a very good success.
Yes.
You look at the task you've been given, think about the task you heard, and maybe Ogram and Judy mentioned what they overheard as well. One thing really strikes you. It seems awfully like what a city guard's to-do list would look like.
Yes, and I think I'll communicate this with the others. Like, these don't sound like adventuring tasks. They sound like city guard tasks, right?
But they're tasks we've been given. If we complete them, then
I suppose.
I will motion. Are we being timed?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they said we were being timed, and that every time we completed a task, we had to report back so that they could see how long it took.
Which one's quickest?
Yes.
Which one is quickest? What are we going
Oh.
for? Are we going for?
Sorry,
are we going for the belligerent drunken city guard, the mysterious wall of ice, or the mechanical hound with its riddly puzzly riddle?
I think the hound or the guard.
The hound answering riddles can't take very long.
Well, it could take a very long time depending on how good you are at riddles, but
Oh, I'm excellent.
that'll probably be
let's
fast
go.
then.
Okay. All of these have addresses on them. And after some confusion, you know what? I won't ask it for each task, but for the first task, why don't we have someone try and make a roll to see how well they do with sort of wandering around the town that none of you know. So this is going to be a realms roll, let's say. Who wants to make a realms roll? Does anyone have any good realms for guiding us around?
I have -1 with realms, so I'll just be sort of looking around confusedly, I think.
I'm happy to roll
Yeah, I
for
was going to say, I'm assuming Judy holds the map for your adventures. So
it. Yeah.
Sure, give us a roll for that. And you know what? You have the address, so I'll give you another +1 on top of it as well. Whatever you got.
I only rolled a 5.
Did you have any pluses? Like what do you get?
Yeah, I rolled 3, and I have a +1
Right.
plus the other +1 from you, so that's 5.
Sure. Okay.
Doing well.
All right. You wander the streets of Beetlemead for probably about an hour, and it's not a large town. It's dusty. It's warm. Like I say, there's weird sticky patches. Lots of these kind of like round windows in the floor, and you don't find what you're looking for. But failure with a plus, you find yourself outside the Bogrel Eatery. Rather notably, this street has a significant infestation of gutter snails. They're everywhere. They smell. Some of them are looking at you funny. I don't need to describe what gutter snails look like. You all know.
Of course.
Yeah. The Bogrel Eatery has a sign outside saying, "Yes, we are open again now."
Is ice obvious from here?
Nope.
Okay.
The door is open in there. You can see that there are maybe a couple of customers in there and some Bogrils kind of like lurching around on their frog legs, kind of serving people things.
Well,
Right.
It's not where I try to be, but it's obviously where I wanted to be.
It's one of the places that we need to be, and we're here early.
That's one way of viewing it. I slurp.
That's quite a complex
Slurp.
gesture.
You slurp up the steps. As you do so, a kind of Bogril, kind of a rushed, somewhat tense-looking Bogril with a feathered cap, kind of comes over and says, "So how many? How many? There's not many places to pick where to eat."
Oh.
We're here for the adventure and the ice. Do you have ice?
Are
was-
you here to deal with the ice?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Follow me. The Bogril turns around and walks over to what kind of looks, like it has a little counter next to it, and it's like a doorway that looks like maybe it leads to like the kitchens, and just kind of with a slight hopping gait kind of moves over in that direction.
We'll follow. I think
Yeah.
I like to imagine by now you've all learned to make sure you're not behind me, because I leave this kind of slippery trail that's kind of annoying to walk on. So I'm probably at the back most of the time.
Nice. The Bogril kind of stands to one side and gestures towards the kitchen and goes, "Here you are." What he's showing you is a large kitchen full of ankle-high water. A young Bogril is morosely attempting to sweep the water out into the street. Well, there was a wall of ice. It was quite the problem. But, I mean, it has been 3 days since we reported it to the guards, and it has been quite warm, and all the moisture has attracted gutter snails. So thank you for your diligence.
So
Next job, then.
we solved the problem?
Oh, absolutely. We couldn't have done it without you.
That's great.
Have a nice day.
Would you like a recipe for gutter snail soup?
Get out.
Turn around, carefully step over Plurple's trail,
What is this?
I'm slipping out the back door as he speaks.
Sure.
I'll just slurp to one of the snails that they should all gather inside there as much as they can.
Can you
Excellent.
commune with snails? Is that
I don't know if they can hear me, but I can kind of understand snails. So.
you got like a shared sort of vibe?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you?
Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
We
really
should go and report that the ice wall is gone.
I mean, quickly, apart from the hour wandering the streets of Beetlemead, but other than that. So are we returning? Yeah, are we returning to the square?
Yes.
Yeah, all we need to do is go to the town square, turn left, go past the next town square, further on for a bit, 2 more lefts, and we're there.
Absolutely. So you return to the square. It's basically as you left it. Sheriff Warney has vanished off somewhere. Deputy Destra is still stood where she is, like, looking through various paper. She literally looks like she's doing her paperwork now. There is a small group of guards off to the side of her who weren't there before, but otherwise, yeah, as it was.
I'll gelatinous goo a thumbs up.
Oh, hello. The Buttering Buccaneers, something like that.
The bespoke bestiary bashing buccaneers. Brackets recently rebranded.
I'm not going to remember all that. So, your task, the wall of ice.
Yes.
Okay.
It is no more.
Wonderful, and you're all safe. You've all survived.
We're
I-
extremely
I
competent
slime.
adventurers.
Ice Slime, it was very dangerous, but we made it out alive.
Oh, that is a relief. Given, well, I'm sure I don't need to tell you. I mean,
No.
what do you make of it? We weren't expecting so many casualties so quickly.
Oh, is the invitational not gone well then?
A tragedy. Dundamore's daring do-gooders tried to flush the witch breath out with some sort of cunning plan involving channeling fresh air down into the cursed streets. But I suppose the wind turned on them. They were ensorcelled and climbed up to the top of the Beetlemead orphanage. Then came down the fast way, right in front of the annual orphanage picnic fundraiser. I'm surprised you didn't hear them from the other side of town, like a tray of pies being dropped at Solstice Festival.
That's so tragic.
awful.
Truly. I suppose this adventuring lark is more dangerous than I'd thought. Well, where are you off to next?
Wherever adventure takes us.
I mean, but to one of 2 specific places adventure will take you, right?
Yes.
Hopefully, yes.
Well, you're a little behind at the moment, I won't lie. Technically last. I suppose third now. Good luck.
I will wait for the others to go slightly and just go, Slime, would you point me in the direction of the house with the mechanical dog?
Oh, of course. She gives you a comprehensive set of directions to the house.
I will slip and slime my way to catch up to the others and then just point.
Absolutely. In that case, no roll is required. So, you make your way through the streets to a street that looks very much like every other part of Beetlemead you've been in. Apart from it has a slightly larger house halfway along it, which is the house you're looking for. It has boarded up windows and a door that was boarded up, but the planks have recently been kind of broken through, presumably to provide you access to it, or because someone decided to go rifling through it. The entire entranceway to the step up to the house is a large glass window down below, the largest you've seen. And if you peer down, you can sort of see what seems to be a like some kind of chasm with a stone bridge over it. but the glass it's perfectly safe. It's literally like at least a foot thick and embedded in these flagstones.
Does this seem like new? Is it normal? Seems kind of.
Oh no,
strange.
the glass and all of this is old. It's like all
Okay.
shine, all open.
Oh, I see. This is
to,
part
like,
of the under. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the under, like these labyrinthine tunnels through the streets.
Got it. Okay, I'm having a good peer down there, seeing if I can see anything shiny.
Nice. You can't. You can see a stone bridge on top of a chasm. What are we doing?
Well, I'll stick my head around the door, see whether there's any sign of this mechanical hound.
You don't see the hound in the room you look in. It's like a hallway room, right? And at the end, there's a couple of doors off it, but there is a door at the back of the corridor that has a kind of like what looks like a Beetlemead guard sign kind of nailed to the front of it that says storage. It's all very dusty and not terribly well maintained.
Well, I'll sort of knock on the door, and hello, anyone here? And if there's no answer, I'll sort of step in, go off and read what the sign says. Oh, it says storage, doesn't it?
It does say storage.
I can read, which is fortuitous.
Well, not according to those kids.
Well, indeed.
It leads to bakery.
Truly dangerous. I think it might be over here. I'll sort of yell back and open the storage door and see what there is.
Well, inside that room, it's in a dusty place like Beetlemead. This is the dustiest room you've been in. It's kind of floating in the air everywhere. The entire room is covered with boxed up possessions stamped with Beetlemead heraldry. There is a table, and the only thing on the table is indeed a mechanical hound of some kind made out of kind of twisted steel and iron. Would anyone like to? And again, I always say, like, it's not necessary for everyone to roll on this should they not want to. But what I would offer, if anyone does want to roll it, is a tinker roll on examining the quality of this mechanical hound. And I'm going to say it's quite a dark room and a dust-filled room, so it's broadly got a -1 on it. So factor that into whatever you have.
I have a lantern that I will light.
Oh, well then, smarty pants, you can take the -1 off for everyone.
It's also worth noting while I light the lantern, there's a strange, slightly unpleasant, sudden squelching noise coming from me occasionally as I vibrate. And if you watch, you'll notice that I'm doing the gelatinous goo equivalent of sneezing as there's dust kind of settled on the outside of my goo cube.
Nice. How did anyone who want to roll do?
I rolled a 13.
Did anyone else get any kind of things we should know?
I had to look and got a 10, but yeah, not
Okay.
not as good as John.
I also got a 10.
Okay, well then all of you can recognize that this fabulous mechanical hound is a bit shit. It's pretty bodged together.
It's not what I expected.
It's a bit shit, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know what that word means really, but it's not very good.
It might be able to hear us. Hello?
As soon as you address the mechanical hound, there is a click and a grind, and then a hollow voice starts talking. A voice it sounds like a recording of a woman's voice, and like it does that kind of like Billy Bass thing where the opening of the jaw doesn't quite match the actual words. The hound kind of like cocks its head slightly, turns to roughly face where Ogram is, and in that hollow voice says, "What kind of animal keeps..." There is an unpleasant whirring noise and the mechanical hound bursts into modest flames. About the space of a heartbeat later, it falls over.
I'm gonna pour my canteen over it to try and put it out.
Sure, yeah. Do you want to? I mean, that's a usage of your. Is water separate from rations?
I don't think so. I've got a canteen as a carried item.
Yeah, I don't know if water is a thing as rations. What do you have? I don't know. Like, I actually didn't read that part of the character creation. I don't think. Do you all have like rations with a usage die and stuff like that?
Normal rations and a canteen.
I've got normal rations, and the canteen is
Okay.
is an object.
But it doesn't mention anything about consuming the canteen, so I guess it's just an extra thing.
Sure. And what is your rations amount? Does it have,
I have one.
one.
Yeah.
One normal, which is a D6.
All right. Okay. Okay. Well, let's use this then, because it's another chance to use the system. So consumable things in Land of Eem have a usage die, which is basically you have a certain grade of dice, and you roll it each time you use it to see if it's consumed. And if you hit a 1 or a 2, no. Right, yeah. If you hit a 1 or a 2, that consumable thing is all gone. Or if you hit any other number, it just goes down by a die. So, John, do you want to roll a d6 for us?
Yeah.
Oh, no, hang on. A d6 usage die does not reduce to a d4 and is reusable until rolling a 1 or a 2. So
Well, I rolled a 1.
Oh, so you just used all of your water, basically.
Yeah.
I'm sure
And-
there's a well somewhere.
And Ogrim has most of the food. So, yeah. So you've just lost all your water and snacks.
Judy
Wait, how
just
do I lose my
throws
snacks?
pie on top.
Well, you have used it's part of your ration. So no, Ogrim has all your snacks. So
Okay.
you haven't lost them. Ogrim's holding on to them for you.
It's all right. We can share. It's fine.
You do, however, put out the fire. A very sad, inert, burnt mechanical dog is on the table with what appears to be a hatch in its belly that's partially sprung open from the flames.
I
That
will,
was a very strange riddle.
I will reach to open the hatch, given that I'm quite fireproof as a deep level. No,
Sure.
my name. The gelatinous goo.
Inside the hatch is some kind of charred lump.
Grab the charred lump. What is the charred lump? Can I assess it?
I have described the charred lump.
What does it taste like, though?
Kind of burnt, you know.
Okay, I'll just
Barbecue-y.
I'll just keep the charred lump within me for now.
Sure. English sentences that have never been spoken before for 100.
This is common. This is what you say as a gelatinous goo. Several other than everyone else.
Well, I suppose we have solved the riddle and retrieved the treasure.
Yes.
Back to
Technically,
deputy.
we've performed the task.
We were asked a riddle. We came up with a response, which was to put the fire out. We retrieved the contents of the dog. Mission
kind of an-
accomplished, right?
What kind of an animal does set on fire?
This kind of animal.
Oh!
A badly made mechanical dog.
I slap my slime forehead with a slimy tentacle bit that comes out of it. Is there anything else in this room, Matt?
There's lots of boxes that are covered with official Beetlemead Town Guard stamps.
No. I got stamps on them, though. I'll leave them alone.
You wouldn't want to commit a crime. Oh, is that it then? Are we leaving the deceased witch's house and returning?
Well, we're on the clock, aren't we? So
You are on the clock.
Yep.
let's
Head back.
hurry back.
So this entire thing has definitely taken less than an hour. So this is definitely faster. Destra is sat where she was. There's a little group of city guards near her, as before. She sees you walk up and says, "Oh, it's good to see you back. Good news?"
I will slime my way all the way back up the table and then drop a slimy, burnt, charred something right in front of her.
Oh. Well, I suppose that counts. I'm just glad you're all right.
Oh,
More trouble.
Not more
What's happened?
size.
No, you haven't heard? All of
No.
Canticle's crusaders were afflicted with a terrible poison from the mouth of the serpent statue. Quite nasty, apparently. Thrang over there had to drag the bodies into a cart and dump them in an old latrine pit. Over by where the other guards are, there's a goblin sat a short distance away with his head in his hands. Apropos of nothing, he howls, "Their faces will haunt my sleep forever! Those horrible Richter smiles!"
How terrible!
But that's, I suppose, you're coming in second now. It is second, though. You're far behind the others.
How terrible!
Hope nothing terrible
An
happens to them.
equal tragedy. She nods.
Bye then.
Son.
So where could we find this Emor? Because well, we have an address, but it's been so long. He's probably moved.
I mean, he's in the last 2 days.
Well, I thought we only took 2 hours.
Both Destra and I are confused.
We have a task to find Emor the guard.
Yes.
Can you point us
And-
towards his house, please?
Yes.
I don't know why you think he's moved house in the last 2 hours.
I don't think he's moved house. I think he's moved location, as in he's presumably at some point
right,
stood up
sure.
and walked a distance.
Sure. She says, "Well, I believe the last time he was seen was somewhere near his house. I'd just go there and wander the streets if I was you. You'll probably hear him. He's loud, heavy-handed."
right then. Let's go.
Good luck. Don't, well, you know.
As we're moving away, I guess I'll slime her. This place seems very dangerous. No one's even been down there yet.
Not usually. What bad luck on today of all days.
I'm looking over at the wailing.
Yeah,
Again.
the wailing goblin. I had to repeat his lines to myself several times this morning to try and work out of the habit of stopping myself from corpsing every time I tried to deliver them. Which just tells you that every single fancy game I play, it to some degree becomes Morkborg at one point or another. Yeah, you make your way through the streets of Beetlemead. This time you come to a rather sort of it's definitely like maybe kind of like a more economically disadvantaged side of town. You're given the address. It's very clear when you reach it that Emor is not there. All the doors and the windows are open and kind of, you know, he's not there. It's only a small shack. You can literally pop your head in the window and look around, and he's not there. So maybe the advice Destra gave you is the thing to do.
They have moved.
Told you.
Can we hear anything?
From this one specific spot?
Well, I kind of wander around a bit and listen. She said he'd be loud, so I guess I'm...
Yeah, it's true. Well, why don't you give me a search roll?
That's the thing I'm quite good at.
No modifiers from me, so go ahead.
Let's see.
Can we all do a search roll?
I get a 9.
Well, let's have one search roll from one person first. You get a 9. Well then, there we go. You squelch round only a couple of corners and find yourself in. I was trying to search my brain for the name of this because I was trying to say it's like a town square, but I don't. I mean a small open. What would one call that? Like a
courtyard.
Courtyard.
A courtyard. Thank you. Yeah, a yard probably rather. Yeah, you find yourself in a very dusty, battered yard. There are a couple of people walking around. There is a foul-smelling old fountain, and there is a human in a town guard uniform floating face down in it.
That's not. Is it?
I, having no concept that someone would drown in water, go up to him quite happily and just nudge him to try and see if he's going to get out the fountain.
I think we
He
might
just sort of
have.
gently floats to the other side.
Yeah, just gently drifts. His head just kind of. Boom,
I'm batting him harder, thinking he's just really asleep.
I think we might have a difficult time getting this one to jail.
Looking at you quizzically.
Well, technically, might be easier. Come on, give me a hand.
I'll help. I can lift him.
I'll supervise.
A boggart who's passing by leans over to you, Cry, and says, "Oh, quite relieved to see that. He's been there since last night."
Oh, well, I suppose he'll definitely come quietly then, won't he?
I'll schlurp. Heavy sleeper.
As Emor the guard rolls over as you heft him out of the fountain, it is very clear that his recovery seems unlikely. Yeah, you've got a sodden guard body held between you, Ogram and Judy. Have you got your turtle? Your tortoise? Could he be slung over the shell of the tortoise?
Oh.
Or do you want to do that to your tortoise? He does smell a bit.
No, I respect my tortoise too much for that.
Yes, we all do.
I will schlurp to Judy before we go. Do you want to fill up your water canteen? Pointing towards the fountain with the dead.
I've got my hands a bit full. So maybe I'll use the next one.
I'm sorry, this is becoming Morborg. So, sure, are we carrying the unfortunate guard back to the deputy?
No, we were told to send him to jail.
Yeah, you were technically. Yeah, absolutely.
Do we know where the jail is?
Yeah, it's in the town square. Let's make it.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense, right? It would make sense.
Gonna walk right past her carrying this corpse.
Yes,
We got
yes,
it.
You absolutely do.
Back in a minute.
And as you do so, all the guards kind of watch as you carry this body of a guard, this dripping body of a guard, over there. The guard at the entrance to the jail kind of looks down at where you carrying this and goes,
One for the slammer, sell one, is it?
yeah, just prop him against the wall there. We'll deal with him.
Right, you are.
It was like this when we found him. I should point out.
He was underwater when we found him.
I mean, I've spent quite a lot of time with him, and I'll be honest with you, I don't care.
I'm sure he'll be very apologetic when he sobers up.
I'll make the gelatinous goo thumbs up and turn around to move off.
Is Krat maintaining this for the sensibilities of Friplerple to not like shatter there?
I think I think Cry is just choosing not to consider the reality
Just
of what's
ignoring
happening.
I think
Yeah.
Purple fully knows that he's dead now. He's not that stupid. He just doesn't
Right,
really
okay.
care.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Cry's just like, keep it light.
For
Yeah.
Purple knew he was dead earlier when he was suggesting the fountain. I just didn't know that was a bad idea.
In general, that might be advice given to me for this whimsical fantasy magical adventure. But you know, I warned everyone at the beginning. I'm going full Fable. Yeah, are we heading over to Destra and reporting in?
Yep.
Destra, you come over and she says, congratulations, you're our winners.
Oh,
Yeah.
Excellent.
we were faster than the other team then.
Whoa, I suppose you can't have been near the tower then. Turns out there were a lot more bats than the sheriff supposed, and they must have grown big and vicious on some of the old magics up there. Priel's precise practitioners of pure praxis were all hefted aloft by their shackles, and the bats just picked them apart, bits of them everywhere. The field workers on the edge of town thought it was a welcome summer rain and cheered for it for a while. I mean, it started out as cheering, until old Sonja realized she had someone's nose in her hair. Anyway, the proud victors. No?
Hurrah! Let's all hear it for the bespoke bestiary bashing Buccaneers brackets recently rebranded.
Absolutely. And obviously, these tasks were very simple for you. And now you will go face the dangers that awaited those other prepared, renowned heroes who all sadly died in doing other minor tasks around the town. Confident?
Supremely!
Hang on. The agreement to this invitational was that we do 3 tasks and then we win something underground danger. Not that we do 3 tasks and then we go do 3 more tasks.
Again, Destra is as confused as I am.
Flurple will pat Judy and go, no, we're not doing those tasks.
Oh, okay. Good.
We're going underground to collect
What?
our
We won,
prize.
Judy. We won.
Good. I
Is
thought
that
she was
Judy?
sending us. That was, I don't even know.
John Judy. Being
Did you think
confused,
she
it's
was
fine.
sending you to go do the tasks that killed the others?
Yes.
No, she was not.
Good.
She was saying
It is
you've
quite
now won
warm.
the
Better
right.
not be.
She said, now that all the others have died doing the safer things than going underground, you are now rewarded by going underground. Because you have
Huzzah!
also completed your own very dangerous tasks. So you must be fine.
Proving we are supreme adventurers who will be capable
Absolutely.
of it all.
Definitely. And on that note, I think we'll put a break in there. We'll put a little 10-minute break in, and we will be back very soon to find out what happens when this group of extremely competent and talented adventurers heads under the town of Beetlemead. 10 minutes. See you soon.